Hey everyone, this is Jamie again, and today we're just going to do a little bit of planting and a little bit of trimming. So the first plant that I want to talk to you about is a mint plant. So a lot of people think that when mint starts to look like this, that it's dead, but it's not dead. You can still see some green and green in the middle. All it really wants is a little trim. So I'm just gonna do this with my hands. I'm literally just gonna pull. It sometimes can be hard, so getting a little like clipper might be a better idea. The way this is looking right now, it doesn't want to pull off, but you're just gonna keep clipping and pulling off these little bits like this until it's all cleaned up. And then what's gonna happen is it's gonna allow for all of the regrowth to start building back up, and you're gonna see more stuff like this come through pretty quick. I would say like a week or two and you'll be back to normal. You'll have mint growing, it'll be full and lush, and you can start making mojitos or whatever you like to do with your mint tea, or just eat it plain. Either way, it's good for you, it's nutritious, and makes your breath smell good, and it's just all around an amazing plant. So don't throw your mint away when it's looking dead. Just trim it up and it'll be ready to go. Here we are with the plants that I've grown from the hydroponic system. This is calendula, as you can see. So they're very happy, bright, sunny flowers. They almost look like Gerber daisies or marigolds, but there is a difference. The reason I know this is because I grew it from a seed in my hydroponic system. That's why they have these little cups on them. Normally, I don't let them get this big before taking them out, because now you can't remove the plastic. So we have to plant them with the plastic on. Otherwise, we'll disturb the root system and they won't make it. So what we're going to do is we're going to plant them. I don't have a lot of soil on me right now, but what we're going to do is empty out these two pots, and we're going to combine them into one large pot. So first, I'm going to start by discarding what I have here. I'm going to save this plastic thing off my last batch, because I don't want to waste the plastic. I'll reuse it for another plant. And we're just going to toss this into our garden, bury it, and it will turn into compost. Same here. We'll move our good plant over, and then we are going to discard our basil, remove the plastic, get rid of that for compost. Here we have so cute a little here's a basil leaf. You can wash that and eat it if you want. And then right here is a little sproutling. This is buckwheat. I had some buckwheat seeds in this. Buckwheat's are really good for your soil, puts the nutrients back, the nitrogen back. So we're just gonna dump this soil into our bigger pot. But organic is so important. It means no chemicals in your soil, which means no chemicals in your herbs and your food. Okay, so there we go. We've put the soil into a bigger pot. We're gonna dig a nice hole in the middle, and then we are gonna take our calendula plant with all these beautiful roots, and we're gonna put the roots a good ways down, and then you just don't want to bury the stem, the very bottom stem. You want to give it enough support from the soil so that it can stay like lifted and strong, but not bury it so much that it can't breathe. And that's the key to planting a new flower. You also, if any leaves try to get buried, you want to keep those out because that's how it's going to get all of its nutrients from the sun. And this is a sun flower. It needs the sun to thrive. And that's it. We've got it planted. The only other thing that you want to do after you've planted your transplant of your plant is water it. So it wants water right away. Don't wait. That's how the roots are able to get used to their new environment and to their soil, and they can expand. And some roots die and some roots live. That's why you'll see certain leaves die off and certain leaves thrive, because those are the ones that took to the soil, while some might have not liked their new environment, so they die off. Therefore, a few leaves, a few flowers might die, but just keep watering it, keep loving your plant, and it will keep growing. Alright, so here we have another plant that just did not make it. I mean, I've trimmed it, I watered it, probably could have trimmed it a little bit more, given it a little bit more attention, but it is what it is. They don't all make it. And this one actually lived quite a few years. It was just a basic, I don't even know what this was, but it had some pretty white flowers that came off of it. I don't think it was medicinal or anything. But I have all these seashells, so they came off of an old wind chime, and so I just decorated the pot with them so they didn't go to waste. But now what I'm going to use them for is drainage for my soil. So at the bottom of this pot where I'm going to be planting my calendula, I'm going to just place them all at the bottom. And what this does is keeps the drainage at the bottom from the dirt being able to pack down and get into the little drainage hole. So this will allow the water to kind of come through and drain a little bit more without all the soil packing. And then what we're going to do with this, as we know before, we're going to trim it. We're going to take all the dead out. This honestly could make this plant come back to life, just doing this and adding a little bit of water to it. But I want to use my medicinal calendula plant instead, because I'm going to be making a lot of herbal salves with my calendula, and so for me right now it's just more beneficial than a basic house plant that may or may not make it. So I never want to waste my soil. I'm just gonna put that in there. It's packed pretty tight. Okay. There we go. All right, the soil is packed pretty tight, so you just gotta help it along. I like to just poke a little air hole through the top of the pot, and that kind of loosens it up. Pat each side all around. That loosens it up a bit. And if you really have to, you get like a little stick of some kind and you just aerate. Let me show you what I'm doing. Little holes along the edges, and that loosens it up so that you can easily dump it and the dirt will break loose. This is a stubborn one, but that's okay, we'll get there. Just pushed through the drainage hole. Push through the drainage hole, and that seems to work. Alright, so there's a big root system on this plant. That's okay, we're just gonna grind up the roots and soften the dirt up a little bit. There's even a little more dirt than I want, so I'm going to take some roots out and put them into my other pot. We're just breaking it up, we're aerating the dirt, getting it ready for new life. Sometimes you got to mix things up in life. to get new, ready to go. Alright, so once you've broken up the dirt a bit and you can feel that it's loose, and you can dig a nice center hole for your new roots. You are ready to plant your other plant. So here we are, we have our calendula flower, we have our other calendula flower right here, and we have some basil in the background right here, all transplanted from a hydroponic system. This basil's been doing well now for, I would say he's been planted for 3 weeks, so he's healthy, lively, doing good. We'll see how these calendulas do, and I will go show you guys the hydroponic system. So here is my hydroponic growing system. We have basil, we have another herb that unfortunately I didn't mark what it was. I feel like this one is looking like a pepper of some kind, maybe a serrano, while this one could be, I don't want to make assumptions. I'd have to get my seeds out and look, but I don't know. Either way, they're doing great. You can use this basil straight like this. You can plant it directly in the ground, or you can put it in pots. Whatever works best for you. You can even put it in a pot and keep it in your kitchen. And that is my hydroponic growing system.